Hello everyone, welcome back to MADVERT and week 3. If last week we talked about art direction, we're going to be talking about another very important piece in advertising, which is copywriting. So of course we have to define copywriting first. As mentioned in the Oxford Dictionary, copywriting is the act or occupation of writing text or copy for the purpose of advertising or other forms of marketing. Let's take a very good example of copywriting here in this ad. So this is an ad for Gordon's Finest Gold Beer. It simply says, nope, no funny slogan here. Gordon, nothing to prove. So Gordon, they really want to portray that they are a no-nonsense brand and it's just good and nothing else. Like, you can straight up buy Gordon and there's nothing else. There's nothing. They don't have to prove anything, and that's why you should buy their beer. Like, no nonsense, just strong blonde beer. And I think that's very important because they're trying to convey that people who should be buying Gordons are no nonsense people, and it's just straight up. So when you think about good copywriting, there are 3 things in mind that you really want to follow. That number 1, it's clear. Number 2, it's concise. And I would argue this is the most important one. It's to be compelling. If you have clear, concise, and compelling copy, you'll really entice your audience to do whatever it is you want to do. So let's take this McDonald's ad, for example. The thing you want when you order salad. McDonald's, I'm loving it. So in the back, you have a great picture of a burger and then the copy just on top of it. This is great because for people, if you've ever been on a diet, every time you eat a salad, you were wishing you were eating like a burger or whatever, or like a burger or something meaty. And they really wanted to convey that when every time you think of eating salad, think of our burger. So the thing you want to you want when you order salad. Very simple, but then again, it really delivers the message across that you will eventually want to buy something from McDonald's, like a burger. That is to say, there are a lot of times when copy really tries to be clever. Often over being clear. In cases like that, you don't want that. Like, you don't want to be too clever that you don't really understand the copy that you're trying to put. So let's take this for example. For Azure Residences, this is along the Skyway in the south, where Azure has this development where they co-developed it with Paris Hilton. And here, for this specific ad, it's a sexy beach. Yes, number 1, there's a beachfront property, and at the same time, a picture of Paris Hilton. This might not, although it is clever, it might not be a very attractive ad for a lot of people, because it could be misconstrued as very misogynistic and very degrading for women, especially for Paris Hilton. So examples like these aren't the best. That said, what is great copywriting? Well, very simply, great copywriting is in a manner that you can understand the message using just the right amount of words, not too much words, providing fast comprehension and delivery such that every word seems intentional, meaning there are no excess words that would help or that would make it harder to understand, or for the sake of being what do you call that, being flowery and all of that stuff. Again, every word seems very intentional. Yeah. That is to say, let's take this for example. For Porsche, everybody knows Porsche, but then back in the day, they've done some great ads, and like an example of that is this one. Honestly, now, did you spend your youth dreaming about someday owning a Nissan or Mitsubishi? Truth. This is the actual truth. When you're younger, you always dream about having the best top-of-the-line sports car, and that's always a Porsche, never a Nissan or Mitsubishi. Very short copy, but very straight to the point and very effective. So let's take this example of "You Can't Stop Us" by Nike. So more than often, not all ads are simply one sentence liners. We also have stuff like this where it's very long and really helps develop the brand sense. So let's take a look.
We're never alone. And that is our strength. Because when we're doubted, we'll play as one. When we're held back, we'll go farther and harder. If we're not taken seriously, we'll prove that wrong. And if we don't fit the sport, we'll change the sport. We know things won't always go our way.
And the world's sporting events are postponed or cancelled.
But whatever it is, we'll find a way. And when things aren't fair, we'll come together for change.
We have a responsibility
to make this world a better place.
And no matter how bad it gets, we will always come back stronger. Because nothing can stop what we can do together.
So this ad was made right in the middle of the pandemic, and I love that little last part that says you can't stop sport and then you can stop us. So the great thing about Nike here is they really wanted to interweave their branding with sports in general, which is to say a lot of sports out there really use Nike equipment. And you really can't stop sport, meaning even if there's a pandemic, even if we have to social distance, Nike still manages to find a spot where everybody is still using it. And they really wanted to convey that with a specific ad, which is great. So let's take another example of great copywriting. So let's take a look at this ad for Sova mattresses from Sweden. You try yoga, you drink less coffee, you work out regularly, you eat more vegetarian, you make time for yourself, you limit your screen time, you read books on mindfulness, you've gotten better at saying no, but you harass your body 8 hours every night. Sore back, numbness, tossing and turning, and constant awakenings sound familiar? To every third Swede, it does. We try everything, yet we often lie in a real cause. A poorly tested and cheaply built bed. So tonight, when you go back to bed, consider this. Does your body or does your bed wish your body well, or is it going to be another 8 hours wrestling? Is it going to be another 8-hour wrestling match? If so, this is our best tip: invest in your sleep. So this is a great ad because it does say that while a lot of millennials and a lot of younger people try to, better themselves and everything, we don't really think about what happens when we're sleeping. Sometimes, actually, myself included, I get a bad back every time I wake up, and that you should try Sova mattresses, because once you do, you are taking that extra step in taking care of yourself. So, that said, we have to really go back and dial back and say, what are the elements of basic copy? Now we know what it means to have great copy. Let's dial back and think, what are the minimal or the basics of copy? Everything in advertising and marketing ties back to our understanding of our consumer, audience, and customer, and our copy has to reflect that. That's very true, because a lot of the times our ad are targeting specific audiences, and we really have to find the best way to talk to them. And to do that, there are 3 elements of copy that must be in every advertisement. So number 1 is the headline. The headline is a strong statement that connects to the main selling point. So what is the main selling point of your product or service that you really want to highlight? Number 2 is the lead-in. It supports the line that connects the headline to the body copy. So the headline is your very strong, one sentence, come on, and your lead-in helps you connect your headline to your body copy or more information. And lastly, the body copy. It provides the necessary storytelling or context needed to expound the ad. Again, this is more additional information should your audience or customer want to learn more. So let's go back to this ad and let's dissect it one by one. So the headline here is, "But you harass your body 8 hours every night." It really grabs the attention of the reader, and it does pique their interest. A lot of the times you have to keep it at a max of 8 words, but must be read, generally read within 3 seconds, because it really has to capture. If it's longer than 3 seconds, people don't have to not read the entire thing. Next is the lead in. It provides transition from headline to body copy, zooming in on the audience's interest, or it could be the proposition or highlight of the product. So here it does talk about a lot about the audience. Like you try to do the best for yourself, and you try to take care of yourself. But even when it matters the most, that's when you don't. That's when you sleep. So the body copy, this is where there's a big chunk of text, and it really converts the interest to desire, pushing to take action. So after you get them piqued and they really like what they're reading, this is your chance to really make the sale and close the sale. So it converts people to do whatever you want to do. This is your call to action. It delivers a proposition or highlight of a product, and it conveys the benefit towards the consumer. And again, this is your call to action. So this is something that you really want to put so that you want to convert your customer. So that said, we've gone through the basics of copy and a little bit more about copywriting. Your plate, or your plate number 2, is to create a full spread editorial to be presented next week. And the brief is, Adidas is launching its collection of formal shoes. And what you need to do is to create a full spread editorial, including all the basics of copywriting and art direction, and you must upload it on Big Sky. Full instructions will be on Big Sky, so if you want to go back and read through the instructions again, it's all there. So that's due next week, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.